Good morning. Thank you for joining us here today to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Georgia Department of Transportation's Highway Emergency Response Operators, or as we affectionately refer to them, HEROES. It's such an honor for me to MC this event because HEROES have always had a special place in my heart. During my time as state traffic engineer, I had the opportunity to work very closely with the HEROES. And I can tell you firsthand that the men and women of the HERO unit are special. They come from many different backgrounds, but they have one thing in common, and that is a passion for helping others. They work tirelessly through all weather conditions in one of the most dangerous work environments that there is imaginable. And most of the time they arrive on scene to find people who are having at the very least a bad day. Most are frustrated and scared. And the feedback from those people is always of gratitude. And many of them comment on how aptly named the HEROES are. They're truly heroes on a daily basis. That personal touch is a large part of what makes the program a great candidate for sponsorship. State Farm has been sponsoring the HERO program for the last 10 years. Their contribution provides a full 20% of the match required for the federal funding. And I have not had the opportunity to see Sam McLean yet. Oh, there you are, Sam. Thank you. So I want to acknowledge him, thank you, and Travelers and State Farm for your ongoing partnership. But the program is so much more than motorist assistance. Even if you've never needed the personal assistance of a HERO, you've felt the benefits of the program, the benefits of their actions as they focus on safe, quick clearance. They're specially trained to establish initial traffic control at the scene of a crash to ensure the safety of the traveling public as well as other first responders. They train alongside those first responders to ensure that everybody understands each other's roles and responsibilities. And it enhances communication so that they can focus on the matter at hand, which is getting the roads cleared safely and quickly. They have meetings year-round with local first responders through our traffic incident management teams, or the TIM teams. But just last week, HERO and the Time Task Force hosted 3 of those TIM team meetings, as well as 3 incident management training events in recognition of National Incident Awareness Week. Over the course of the week, you may have heard some of the following statistics, so please forgive me if I'm repeating anything. But did you know that 20% of all crashes are secondary incidents, and that secondary crashes are very often more serious than the original crash? Nearly a third of all traffic delay is due to non-recurring congestion due to crashes. And for every minute a lane is blocked, it can take 4 to 7 minutes for traffic to fully recover. Those same blockages account for nearly 4.2 billion hours of delay in the United States and burn more than 2.8 billion gallons of gas. What a waste, right? Recent studies have proven that traffic incident management programs like ours conservatively have a benefit of 9 to 1. And if you aren't already aware, Georgia's HERO program is widely recognized as one of the most preeminent programs of its type in the country. Safe, quick clearance is imperative for reducing secondary incidents, and I can say without a doubt that Georgia's HEROES are heroes in the truest sense of the word. They're heroes to the individual motorists they assist. They are heroes to the other first responders who rely on them for their safety. They're heroes to commuters who rely on them to get to work on time and have a reliable trip. And they're most certainly heroes to me. Now let's take a look at a video of these heroes and how they've grown and changed over the last 25 years. now I'd like to introduce our commissioner, Mr. Russell McMurray. Russell McMurray, professional engineer, was appointed by the State Transportation Board to lead the Georgia Department of Transportation in 2015. He began his career with the department in 1990 as an engineering trainee and has served in a variety of roles that include construction project manager, district engineer, director of engineering, and chief engineer. Russell was also appointed planning director before he began his role as commissioner. Mr. McMurray serves on multiple boards, task forces, and associations. He has been named one of Georgia Trend's 100 most influential Georgians and one of Atlanta's most powerful leaders in Atlanta Magazine's Atlanta 500. Russell graduated cum laude from the Georgia Southern University with a bachelor's degree in civil engineering and is a registered professional engineer in the state of Georgia. Thank you, Russell.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Happy 25th birthday, heroes. How about that? Today's a great day, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here to the Georgia DOT. Thank you, Kathy, for your kind words, and to kick this off, and for everybody that made today possible. There's a lot of important people here with us today. First and foremost, Stacy Key, our Congressional District 5, the mighty 5th Congressional District board member. I certainly thank you, Stacy, for being here and your support of heroes. As Stacy told me as I sat down, that how deservingly do the heroes deserve a recognition like today. So thank you, Stacy. We have our team from GDOT here. We have Mike Dover, our Deputy Commissioner. We have Meg Perkle, our Chief Engineer, and Angela Whitworth, our Treasurer here, as well as our partnership for Federal Highway with Greg Morris. Greg, thank you for being here, because it's truly a partnership to do what we do each and every day and what our heroes do. And it's a very big honor today to have our WSB Triple Traffic team here with us today. We have Veronica Harrell. Veronica, I see you over there. Have Alex Williams, Mike Shields on the front row, smiling Mark McKay, and I'll introduce our speaker in a minute, Mr. Mark Aram. So thank you guys for being here and being a part. I can't say enough about the whole team and what they do to help people navigate traffic on a daily basis, from wee hours in the morning very early to the late in the evening hours as well. And we do see you guys at WSB as a team. You're part of the team. Our heroes count on you. The messages that you send make an impact to the travelers on the roadway that try to make it safer and a better commute for everybody. So we appreciate that. And as I told Mark a minute ago, we have plenty of content for you today already. And today is only 9:30ish, so hopefully we have a boring afternoon for you, and just comment on other things. Well, listen, Kathy mentioned that last week was National Traffic Incident Response Awareness Week. Folks, there's no need to have a week acknowledgement of that. That's every day here in Metro Atlanta. And so I was asked to speak a little bit on the importance of the HERO program, and after seeing that video, it brought back a lot of vivid memories. Some of them are not very good, especially that 2014 image of that white stuff that falls from the sky that freezes on the roads and makes ice. We don't use that four-letter word that begins with S in this building, but I think you know what I'm referring to. Listen, as I thought about the importance of the HERO program, I can tell you that the importance has grown over the years since 1994. And as you saw in the video, we were just sort of coming up with this idea of what were we going to do to be prepared for this 1996 Olympics. I was telling Stacy, we ran through all kind of scenarios, tabletop exercises of the what-if scenarios if bad things happen for traffic during the Olympics, because we certainly wanted to put Atlanta's best foot forward. And we did. And the HERO emerged from that in advance of that so that we could be ready. But back then, the real concern was, can we just get some traffic out of the road or help somebody that may be disabled preparing for the Olympics? And if you saw those original routes, they were really just right inside 285 and really right here in downtown, midtown area where the center of the Olympics was. So we have come a long way from then. Beside those desktop exercises we did, we had some of the most cutting-edge technology back there in '94. We had some cool things called beepers. So we were ready. I mean, we could find a payphone and call somebody if we saw something bad. And it was awesome. I even had a red beeper. You know, they were green or red. I had a red one. It was really cool. So we've come a long way, and the importance certainly has grown. Obviously, as Kathy talked about and you saw in the videos, aiding and assisting motorists, some 113,000 to about 115,000 call-outs each year. Just think about that. So a huge impact. Kathy talked about the criticality of getting the roadways cleared very quickly because of the secondary crash, which is terrible. We know that within 30 minutes, there's a 69% chance of a secondary crash from a primary crash, which is, and as Kathy said, she's right. Obviously, the secondary crash is much worse because it's usually running into the back of a queued vehicle. But the heroes deal with stalls, which might surprise you. The highest number of responses are stalls each and every week, averaging over 2,000 stalls a week that we assist, more than crashes, which is good. You'd rather deal with a stall than a crash. But flat tires, gas, getting people on their way, certainly is all about improving mobility. And again, as I thought about the importance, it has really grown in the relationships from where we started, that we were just sort of DOT out there doing our thing, for working and making a safer environment for first responders, which is critical. And I think you would hear from any first responder today to say that the criticality of what our heroes provide for safety for those first responders while managing traffic so that they can do their job is just critical. And I certainly want to acknowledge all our first responder partners, especially starting back, you saw back, I believe it was 2011, the open roads notion. What a crazy idea for GDOT and law enforcement, fire rescue, and everybody to get together and try to be on the same page. Wasn't that crazy? It's unheard of back then. And it took a few arms crossed meetings to sort of figure out how we could work together, and we are so much better. Especially shout out to DPS and Georgia State Patrol for that open roads to deploy people, law enforcement, where we know there's known incidences and that they can respond much quicker. And again, the importance has grown now of hero operators for what they do in our express lanes. Now that we have over 65 miles of express lanes and more coming, how do we manage those express lanes? And you saw in the video the operational work it takes for, again, working with first responders and the heroes to how to access these, especially now reversible express lanes, which are much different creatures to have to work in. So their importance has continued to grow. We continue to expand our notion of heroes. We've expanded that outside Metro into another program called CHAMP. They're only about 3 years old, I believe. Is it 4 now? 3 years old? They're just babies. You guys are 25. You're adults. So you're the legal age plus some. So we continue to expand and take what we've learned from heroes and try to replicate that across this great big state because of the path the heroes have set for us. You know, importance can be measured in many ways, and we measure a lot of things. The heroes know that. We measure response time and then clearance time and how long is the total end to end from first notice to everything's clear and traffic's flowing again. We have lots of metrics. But I think probably the most important thing to measure is the comfort that when a hero shows up to a motorist, whether it be a stall, out of gas, or crash, is the comfort they give to motorists that is not measurable. In fact, we get a lot of responses from motorists that probably sometimes they've suggested that we've changed the name for hero. They suggest the name angels. They'd like to be considered angels because when somebody is in that situation, as Kathy said, they've had a bad day. And some of them are really bad days. But when the heroes show up, they give them that comfort. They make them feel safe. They get them on their way, and they are truly exemplary of what's the best part of Georgia. So let's give our hero unit a round of applause. Now, it's a great pleasure for me to introduce Mark Aram. Mark's been a member of the Triple Team Traffic since September of '97, so Mark's only known heroes. That's crazy, Mark. He's a trusted and familiar face to viewers on WSB TV Channel 2 Action News early in the morning. He anchors WSB AM as WSB FM traffic coverage. He started as host of the Mark Aram Show on WSB back in 2001. That's crazy to think about. And it's been part of the WSB's weekly lineup in 2014. He's had me and other GDOT representatives on the show many times. We're thankful for that, to give some traffic updates and talk to listeners. So we really appreciate that opportunity always. And you can hear Mark as the host of the Mark Aram Show now, weeknights 6 to 8 in my PM drive. So that's who I'm tuned into. I can't play Millennial Match Game, and I'll never go up against Doug Turnbull on Name That Exit Number. Now these guys could do that, Mark, but I can't. So a little bit more about Mark. Previously, you may not know this, Mark worked as a sports writer in New York and Connecticut for 8 years, covering professional and collegiate sports before moving to Atlanta. I think he really likes baseball. Mark graduated from Marist College in New York with a degree in journalism and public relations in '96 when the Olympics were going on, and has appeared on CNN, MSNBC, ABC Nightly News, and Inside Edition. Mark, we're glad to have you. Come on up.
Good morning, everybody. It's an honor to be here. 25th birthday for the Hero program, which is amazing in a number of ways that it's lasted this long. And now Hero drivers can legally rent cars at the airport. You're old enough to rent cars on your own. So 25 years, which means that Hero drivers are the only people in Metro Atlanta that have been consistently helping Atlanta commuters longer than I have, which is pretty impressive. And you're right, Commissioner, I have not known an Atlanta area without the Hero unit. So I know firsthand the importance that they have throughout the day. I start my day awful early, and I know a lot of Hero units do as well. And they are truly the first responders a lot of times. When we see a stalled vehicle or a crash or a car fire, it's the yellow trucks that get there before the other flashing lights. And they are an invaluable part of our community. I want you to just imagine, I'm not giving you any ideas to gain leverage on your contracts or anything, but imagine one day without Hero units, one morning rush hour, one afternoon rush hour without Hero units. Our traffic would be 70% worse than it is with the Hero units. That's the impact that they have day in and day out. They get to the stuff, they clear the stuff. We've seen in the video sweeping debris out of the road, seeing them flipped over cars, towing cars off to the side of the road. It's remarkable how much of a part of the fabric of Atlanta that the Hero units have become. And we consider them a pillar of our traffic team. So we have Mark McKay in the chopper every morning, very important, and Doug in the afternoon, which gives us that airborne advantage. We have hundreds of traffic troopers that listen to the station and will call the traffic center and say, hey, there's a car fire 75 at Wade Green, or there's a stall in the connector at North Avenue. That's a huge pillar for us. The DOT cameras are massive for us. We now have access to thousands of cameras all over Metro Atlanta, which are so important to get correct information to the listeners and to the viewers. And the last pillar is truly the Hero program. They're the ones that arrive on the scene first. They're the ones that make sure there are fewer secondary incidents on the roads. So a minor fender bender doesn't turn into a gridlock alert or a Doug Turnbull travel advisory, as we like to call them. So I personally thank you for making my job a lot easier, because without you, I wouldn't have made it on time here. I'd still be covering a red alert on I-20 or a gridlock alert on Georgia 400. And I'm often, when I think about the Hero units, I can't not forget our old departed leader, Captain Herb Emery, when he'd be flying in the WSB Skycopter and he'd come across a new stall or a new crash, and he'd get on the radio, and I knew you guys were listening, be like, we need a Hero unit, please. Georgia 400 northbound at North Ridge Road. And sure enough, Captain Herb would took the call out, and you guys are there. It doesn't have the quite same effect when I say it. We need a hero unit, please. There's a backup at the Arby's Drive-In on Howell Mill Road. I need this cleared. I thank you. I personally have been helped by hero units, and I think you said it exactly right, Commissioner. When you see, it's not often you want flashing lights coming up behind you. It's usually a bad thing. But when you're stuck on the side of the road and you're stalled out, you ran out of gas, you got a flat, and you see that yellow truck and those lights, and you're like, oh, everything's going to be all right. In closing, earmuffs, Commissioner. As I tell my listeners on the radio show, if you are ever helped by the hero unit, I know it's not policy, but break off these fellas and ladies a tip, because they deserve it. Earmuffs, stop recording. You tip these people, ladies and gentlemen. They have saved you time, money, energy, injury, whatever. Couple bucks, earmuff still. They're not allowed to take it, so you got a lot of pockets in those uniforms. Just slide that sawbuck in the back pocket and give your appreciation. Or, as I do, if I see them off hours at a fast food establishment, which I tend to go to a lot, I'll get you a chicken biscuit or a Big Mac or whatever, and continue to thank you. Yes. All right, you can listen again, Commissioner. But on behalf of myself, WSB Radio, WSB Television, and my triple team traffic compadres, we truly appreciate 25 years of amazing help for Atlanta commuters, and we look forward to another 25 more helping us get around Atlanta traffic. So thank you to the hero units.
Thank you so much for your comments. That was fantastic. It's now my pleasure to introduce Hero Manager Jason Josie. Last week was a very important week for Jason as an incident management professional as well as a veteran. Jason had a lot to celebrate. He's a graduate of the U.S. Army Chemical School and served both in the U.S. Army as well as the Air Force. He's a native Atlantan who loves serving his fellow Atlantans as a hero for the last 15 years. Please join me in welcoming Jason Josie.
Good morning, everybody. I certainly appreciate everybody being here today. It really, really makes me feel good to see so many people willing to come out and support the Hero Unit. But before I go further, I think it's important for me to recognize a few people that are not here. First and foremost, Spencer Pass and Moses King. Spencer Pass and Moses King, in the 25 years that we've been in existence, paid the ultimate sacrifice with their lives to ensure that we stayed on task and made it a priority for our operators to receive the utmost training in emergency response and incident management and clearance. So they are due always a tremendous amount of respect, honor, and adoration. Secondly, a little bit lighter, but still kind of in the shadows, Chad Hendon, Tracy Francis, and Raquel Williams. They're not here with us today because of the activity that we have going on the bridges out there. They're of the TMC. The Hero Unit and the TMC are synonymous, okay? Without the Traffic Management Center to be our eyes in the sky, to be those men and women that look at the cameras and watch our backs for us, our jobs would be triply, is that a word? Triply? I know it's a place, but it's not a word. It would be a triple of the effort that we're already putting forward to keep our heads on a swivel. So make sure we let them know that we appreciate them, even though they weren't able to make it today. Our executive staff, you guys and ladies are a tremendous asset to the Hero Unit. Innovation is a part of the vision for the state, and Lord knows we try our best to be innovative. I mean, we push hard. And without the individuals on top of us to kind of be conduits to that pushing, we wouldn't be able to accomplish many of the things that we already have. So in doing that, I want to recognize my commissioner, our commissioner, Russell McMurray. Russell, could you come up for me, please? We want to give Russell something today. So Captain Herb was the first honorary hero. We're going to make Russell the second. So on behalf of the hero unit, all the men and women that are out there on the highway today, putting forth the ultimate sacrifice, we want to make this presentation to you, sir, and let you know that we're going to give you a coffee cup, we're going to give you a badge, and next week we're going to give you a route. We don't want you to carry all that.
Well, you gotta let me say something now.
Yeah, okay.
Well, Jason, thank you. This is certainly not deserved. My job is just to reflect the great work that you guys do for the whole department. And so if I can be that conduit and that voice as you talked about, that's my job, that's my role. So thank you. And even more important, and I'm glad Mark mentioned it and you did as well, is Captain Herb Emery, who had a profound effect on many people in this room, and he had a profound effect on everybody. And his legacy continues to live on right here, sitting on the front two rows, but with people throughout this metro Atlanta region. And that's quite an honor just to be mentioned in that sentence. So thank you for that. In my route, I would like 85 to 985 up to exit 8. I traverse it twice a day, okay?
I got you.
And if you ask Kathy and the other district engineer, they get regular updates on needs. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and disagree with the commissioner and say that it is deserved. And it is one of those things where when you look at 25 years of an organization of our type, it requires individuals outside of that organization to be able to see the same things that you see from within. I can have all the vision in the world, but if there aren't individuals on the outside that are able to see that same vision and help us achieve it, then it's just a dream. So no, you deserve it. You deserve it 10 times fold, because every conversation that I've had with you have yielded, let me change every to most. Most conversations I've had with you have yielded positive results. The few that the few that haven't have been well received. They have been well received, and I think that's what really makes this all important, because the no's are just as important as the yeses. And a lot of times when you get the no's, what the no's do is they fuel you to be able to go back and retool whatever your ideas were, so when you reintroduce them again and they turn into yeses, it's a well-earned yes. So most of them, but it's still all of them. See how I fixed that? So we have two more to give, but before we do, I want to talk about the 25 years that the Hero's been in existence, and to kind of infect everybody with a little bit of information so you can take it out and spread it among your friends and peers. So the fire department has this reputation. When you were in elementary school, I went to Margaret Fan Elementary School in Adamsville. So when we were growing up, it was the fire department that got the cat out of the tree for the little old lady. And it was Officer Friendly that helped you across the street and found you when you were lost and took you back home. Now, as you got older, you understood that there was a much darker side to both of those jobs. Both noble professions in each of their rights, but the meat and potatoes of what people were feeding to us when we were that little were the getting the cat out of the tree, and helping you when you get lost. Well, these organizations are, what, 100 years old, 200 years old, some of them? We're 25. We're 25 years old, and we're an entity that is relatively new to incident management and to emergency response. We are so new that Georgia laws say that anybody that's first on the scene is a first responder. But when you read the fine print, when you're a Moses King or a Spencer Pass, you find out the hard way, you're not a first responder. Don't let that sink in for a minute. You are not a first responder. So it's important to understand what HERO has been able to accomplish in the 25 years that we've been in existence. We went from our version of getting the cats out of the tree to, oh yeah, they change tires and give gas, to, my goodness, I don't think we can understand or realize what Atlanta would be without HERO, because 80% of the time we're the first ones on the scene. And you're gonna see here in a few minutes that 800 hours of training and $175,000 worth of equipment rolling up and down the highway is not just for changing tires and giving gas. It is for something that is far more important, is to be prepared to make sure that anything we run into, we're able to deal with it. That includes our motto, which is protecting the protectors. So in saying all that, I want to recognize two more people before we watch a video. I want to recognize Andrew Heath, and I want to recognize John Hibbert. Could you come up, please? So whereas Russell was number 2, we're going to make history again and do 3 and 4. I'm going to have a full team to be able to run.
I can't take my bike.
So, on behalf of the men and women of the HERO unit, we want to present you gentlemen with the badges and the cups to be able to enjoy your mornings and to be able to reflect on all of the things you've done for our organization. It truly is earned, okay? It truly is earned. So I really, really appreciate everything that both of you have done for HERO.
Very quickly want to say, as state traffic engineer, and Kathy can attest to this, being in the position prior to me, working with HERO is the utmost privilege of this job. Working with that team, I see a difference being made every day. I love working with you guys. I love trying to support you guys, everything you're doing, and look forward to another 25 years. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, sir. So the significance of John and Andrew is this. Before I get to Russell, I go through John and Andrew. And they vet whatever it is that I have to push to Russell. Now, this is what's cool, and it's back to the good and the bad again. Whether it's a good idea or an idea that may not be seasoned enough to be able to get to him, I'm given the proper coaching before it's still pushed. And I'm allowed to say whether or not I want it to go through. And I'm also allowed to sit there and stew while I wait for the results to come back, But it's all a part of how much we appreciate them and the things that they do for our organization. And I don't want everybody else in the room to feel like because we recognize them that you didn't have anything to do with HERO. Everybody that's in this room was purposely invited because I made it a point to say, for the first 25 years, we want to say thank you to the people that contributed directly to the growth of the HERO unit. The operators are not in here. That's why we have on our operator uniforms, because we want to pay homage to them. They're not here. They're out there on the road. They're out there when we're laying out in the bed at night. But everybody in here, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Glenda Waters, thank you. Chui, thank you. Russell, Meg, Angela, thank you. Christine, of course, thank you. Kathy, thank you. Everybody, thank you very much for everything that you've done to contribute to the Hero Unit. I really, really appreciate it. And now, let's watch the video. Hero has accomplished a lot in 25 years and grown tremendously.
A hero's a person that helps other people.
A hero is a hybrid of sorts. What most people recognize us as is a service-oriented patrol mechanism that is deployed by the state to assist motorists that are in need.
You come in every day, you never know what you're gonna get. You can walk in on as simple as helping someone stranded on the side of the road with directions, to changing a tire, to giving them gas, to just assisting them to the next exit, because they may not have what they need in their vehicle and you may not have what you got on the truck to help them get off the interstate.
A hero operator is a police officer, a firefighter, a medic, a mechanic, and a counselor.
What we actually are incident responders who clear major road congestions and traffic causing incidents on the interstate, from minor fender benders to major commercial recovery.
We help the motorists more than they realize it by getting whatever's in the lane out the lane so they can go on their merry way.
I had a tractor trailer that had an accident, and he overturned the tractor trailer, and it was loaded with 38,000 pounds of black ink, and it covered the entire southbound of the interstate.
It takes someone who is not afraid of heights, not afraid of animals, not afraid to engage the public, not afraid of fire, not afraid of blood, not afraid of water, not afraid of speed, not afraid. A hero has to be disciplined, brave, courageous, and above all else, have a heart for service.
The hardest part of the job would be Atlanta traffic, because you never know where that next car is going to come from.
If you're that motorist on the right shoulder, you'll understand how important it is to move over, because when them cars are flying and the road is shaking, that's scary.
To have an 18-wheeler roll by you and literally attempt to suck you out into traffic is very terrifying. But without the proper training, you wouldn't be able to deal with that.
The opportunity for an accident is only seconds away. And if you take your eyes off the road just for that second, it can be the difference of somebody's life.
I like dodging cars at 80 miles an hour when I'm on the side of the road, so.
Heroes go through 800 hours of training. All right, so you're talking about 500 hours in the classroom, another 300 hours in the field.
We signed up for situations that most motorists or the public run from. We actually run to.
I've seen people scared coming out of a house fire. I've seen people terrified sitting in the travel lane broke down.
I've worked every major under the sun, fatality to childbirth on the highway.
And we didn't realize it initially because we were so focused on preserving life. We realized that the engine was missing from the vehicle. And we looked around and saw the engine sitting on the ground. That's how hard they hit the tree.
It was my introduction to this ain't just changing tires and giving gas.
Day in life of a hero. That's real.
So what may be terrifying to some people, for us is the norm. So danger, yes. We run the risk of getting hit at any moment. We run the risk of getting hurt every single time. We are engaged with the public regularly, and everybody that we're engaged with is having a bad day for the most part.
They may have been at their wit's end. They may not have had anyone that could come out and seek their concerns.
To us, a tire change is just another everyday occurrence, but for someone trying to make it to school, to an appointment, catch their flight at the airport, it's the most traumatic thing that's happened to them today.
Being able to assist someone on the worst day of their life.
A friendly handshake, a hug, just to see the look in their eyes when they've been sitting for a long time.
The best part of my job is helping people.
Helping someone.
I get to help people.
Seeing a smile on a motorist's face when you help them, they've been distressed for hours.
and they see us come up.
They say, you my shero for coming out here.
And that's what it's all about, helping people.
My hero number is 8454
461
503
452 576.
My badge number is 500, and I am a hero.
And I am a hero.
And I'm a hero.
I'm a shero.
And I am a hero.
And I am a Georgia hero.
I'm a hero.
I'm a hero.
I'm a hero.
I am a hero.
I'm a hero.
I'm a hero.
And I am 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 a hero.
I want to thank you all today. I'm sorry, I get a little emotional when it comes to Hero. They really are, and I know that there are some major things that were even cut from that video that might have been a little bit disturbing, a little too graphic maybe, because it's big. It's a big job. It's an important job, and I just thank you so much for all you do. I know everybody in this room does as well. And as a thank you from the Hero unit, they would all like for you to have a parting gift, a cup of your very own. That is in the back here. There are 2 lids for each cup, so and they're stacked together. So please take one as you join us in the board lounge for cake and water. So thank you again for coming, and hope you'll be able to stay and socialize for a little bit. Thank you.